Okay, now that you've had a brief overview of the challenge, let's take a moment and look at the egg challenge rubric. Rubrics clarify what the judges will assess for the purpose of scoring your submission. For this challenge, you will need to score the lowest possible score, so it is extremely important that you meet all of the expectations in each section of the rubric if you are to be successful. The artistic element of the rubric: students will apply attributes to the egg for the purpose of showing emotional expression. The expectations: the egg contained at least 2 primary colors as attributes of the design. The egg contained at least 1 secondary color as an attribute of the design. The egg contained at least 1 textile supporting development of a human passenger as part of the overall design. And the emotional expression of the egg was easily recognizable by the judge. Your egg was happy, sad, scared, excited, etc. Artistic element scoring is as follows. If you receive 4 yes marks in the category, you will score 1 point, and that's what you're shooting for, people, the lowest possible score. If you receive 3, 2 points, receive 2, 3 points, and so on. For the physical prototype itself, your actual prototype that will be tested, what goes down the ramp to see if it works, here are the expectations. The vehicle traveled down the ramp and exited the ramp of its own volition when released. Basically put, you're going to set your vehicle at the top of the ramp and let it go. If it does this properly, you'll get a yes. The vehicle landed in the expected target area. Yes or no. The vehicle consisted of all pre-test parts still attached at its final resting place. What this means is what your vehicle started with when you let it go at the top. It still had all those parts on the vehicle when it landed and stopped at the end. Scoring 3 yes marks on this category will get you 1 point. So that's what you're shooting for. And as you go forward, 2 yes marks, 2 points, 1 yes mark, 3 points, no yes marks, 5 points. Solutions. With each entry, a stand-alone solution must be submitted. You will bring this with you before testing your prototype. This could be thought of as a brochure or poster that explains all of the attributes associated with the prototype design. How you approach this has a lot of creative liberties, but it must contain specific information. So look at the rubric and look at the expectations. The solution contained a clear and detailed drawing listing all of the parts of the solution and what each part was consisted of. So, if you took cardboard and made wheels out of it, it shows that, and it explains what it was made from. The solution contained at least 3 supporting arguments as to why the solution would perform better than other possible solutions presented by classmates. I believe my prototype will protect the egg because, all right? So, you have to have 3 arguments that says, choose me, choose my solution for moving forward. Supporting arguments will also be, and if you look at the expectation, supporting arguments were backed up by at least 2 valid and documented, properly cited sources using APA citation method. What this means is for your argument saying, mine will protect the egg better, here's proof why. This is the research I did. This is why I can say it, will do that once we build it and test it. You have to, have those in order to score a yes in that section. Excuse me. Receiving 3 yes marks in this category will score you 1 point. Receiving 2 yes marks in this category will score you 2, and so on. Same format as before. So make sure you look at that and shoot for scoring those yeses. Your passenger element. Since the overall objective is to make sure your passenger, the egg, survives the challenge, scoring will be based as follows. Eggs not resting in the target area, look at that. Eggs not resting in the target area will automatically be scored 5 points even if your egg survives impact. So it's not just about letting it go, it flying off the ramp, and there it is. You have to build a vehicle. You have to consider everything going into your design. Will your prototype exit that ramp, land in that area, and meet the expectations of the rubric? The expectations: the egg showed no physical damage. It was completely intact. Same way it was at the top of the ramp. 1 point. The egg had minor cracking that did not allow any inner contents to escape. So if you see a hairline crack on the egg, or maybe, even a chip, but the membrane is not broken, you'll get 2 points. The egg had minor cracking that allowed minimal contents of the egg to escape. No yolk. If there's a little bit of clear fluid, then that's 3 points. For 4 points, you're in that target area, and the egg had excessive damage. The yolk was showing, or the egg could not be retrieved without yolk escaping. In other words, is if you go back and look at one of these other ones, like the egg had minor cracking and allowed minimal contents to escape just above it, which was 3 points. But if the judge picks your egg up and it just blows apart, then that switches to 4 points. So it's the condition of the egg once the judge retrieves it and looks at it to see how it performed. There's a weight element to this activity. The weight of your vehicle will be considered in your overall score for this challenge and must be considered logically. In concept, the lightest vehicle that scores 1 point on all sections of the rubric will also win the competition. How scores will be determined? Score will be determined by multiplying together all individual rubric category scores and the weight of the vehicle. Example, if your vehicle weighs 30 grams and you score 1 point in each of the rubric categories, in other words, the passenger element, the solution element, those types of things, then your score would be 30 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, or 30 points. This is why it's extremely important to make sure that you meet all the expectations of the rubric. Think back for a moment and let's look at something. Let's say that right here, I did not, look at the supporting arguments, and I didn't cite my work properly, or those arguments were not supported by, good, valid sources. Well, that would switch me to a 2 if I got yes in the other areas. And if you went back here and looked at this score, if one of these, just one of these ones became a 2, then it would be 30 times 1 times 1 times 1 times, 2, and now you would have 60 points for a score, which would increase your score dramatically. So it's really important that you pay attention to and meet all of the expectations of the rubric during this competition.